Hello again, my name is Ernest Minu. Let's settle for the details now. Residents of Yellow and Lower Manyakrobo municipalities in the eastern region have been plunged into darkness since Wednesday, July 27, 2022, following a decision by the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, to switch off feeders supplying power to communities in the two municipalities over illegal connections. According to ECG, some recalcitrant residents have tampered with their transformers and reconnected power to their homes after they were disconnected for refusal to accept prepaid meter installations. We are live in the area shortly, but first, MP for Lower Manyakrobo, Ebenezer Oklete-Telabi, raised issues about the installation of the meters and the deployment of military officers to accompany ECG officials to do the installation. Here's a report from Parliament, aired first on the 24th of June this year.
The Lower Manyakrobo area has been a hot spot following alleged attacks on ECG officials, following claims by locals that they were being overbilled on their post-paid meters. The resolution to those issues has been to install new prepaid meters. According to the MP, Ebenezer Telabi, there's no need for ECG officials installing prepaid meters to be accompanied by armed military men. He spoke on the floor of Parliament.
In the process, it was agreed that to avert the overbilling and all that happened, the ECG was going to install prepaid meters instead of the postpaid. Mr. Speaker, the agreement was that these prepaid meters, before they extend them to those communities, there must be some community engagement. The military has been deployed. And Mr. Speaker, I believe that we have had enough tension in this country. We have had enough. And there's a need for us to really be very careful when we are deploying these men. Because, Mr. Speaker, I don't know the kind of briefing that they were giving. But then they move into their homes carrying guns. Mr. Speaker, and therefore I am imploring you to ask whoever brought the military men there to withdraw them.
This call was endorsed by the Majority Leader Osei Chairman Sabonsu.
Mr. Speaker, I take a cue from what the Deputy Minority Leader has said. Between now and Tuesday, if we have to invite the ministers, you never know what may happen. So perhaps we'll give the directive to involving the Minister of Energy, who fortunately has arrived back in the country, Defense and Communication, to put their heads together to say, going forward, what statement to issue to calm down tension in the place between now and Tuesday. If you can amend.
Second Deputy Speaker Andrew Amakwesiama directed Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwo to order a withdrawal of the troops. He also directed the Energy Minister to appear before the House and brief MPs on why the ECG officials had to be accompanied whilst installing new meters.
So that's a report from Parliament. Let me take you live to Somanya and speak to my colleague Manuel Cranton, who is live in the town. Manuel, human and other economic activities in Lower Manyakrobo municipality and in the eastern region have been grounded to a halt now. Tell us about the survival of the people. I cannot imagine myself living 5 straight days without electricity. How are the people coping?
So, Ernest, it's been all sorts of, just endure around us, really. We've seen some of the residents here move about, attempting to access the main community where they have, conference facilities, where they have hotels, churches, and so on and so forth. These facilities actually have standby generators. And so what we're seeing is some of them now trekking just along the road to access the main community. But as I've been speaking to a few of them just before you came to us here, Ernest, many of them have had, their consumables and perishables just go bad. Their gadgets are spoiling also. And really, it's a hard-hitting situation for their businesses. And as you'd imagine, a lot of the economic activities that are carried out within the community here in Somanya, and it's of course adjoining communities, are heavily dependent on electricity power. For 5 days now, many of the people here have not been able to go to work. When they go to work, they wait the entire day for small-scale businesses like barbering shops, like hairdressers, salons, and so on and so forth. All of these ones have not been able to properly work because beside the fact that the lights have been out for about 5 days, they also are unable to afford standby generators. We're told that a few of the people, and indeed hotels and so on that are around here that are able to afford these standby generators, the cost incurred in just the past 5 days is almost unbearable. We'll just try and speak to a few of the people who, just as we began talking here, I began, just gathering around here, giving you an indication of how interested they are in the situation. Babas, good evening. Thank you for speaking to us here on the Joy News channel. Tell us your name and what you do here.
Good evening. My name is Ocho John Sebastian. I'm a health worker. I work at Takuse, but I reside in this community. And the effects of the light out is in fact a very big issue we need to talk about. I would say it's a public health issue because looking at the health service, the blood we have in the bank, the vaccines we have, and how we're going to administer and all that is going to cause a lot of how do I put it, generators, the fueling and all that, management of the various hospitals.
I'm carrying a lot of costs to keep these generators running, but you live here also. Yes. How has this been affecting you?
Yeah, for some time now, we hardly iron our dresses. You go to where they have generators. Sometimes you pay something little before you can iron. This is affecting all of us. Some of the things you even eat, our fridges are off. The foodstuffs we have in the fridges are all rotten. And in fact, the impact is not just the social aspect, but also a public health. Like I said, some of the things they have, you meet people selling, how do you call it, Indomie and all that. Those cabbages, how are they stored before they even bring them out to even prepare the Indomies that we are taking? So to me, I am taking it from the public health perspective. So it is affecting us. Now, as we are saying, what is happening in the environments where there are no lights is also something we need to look out for. And so the absence of the electricity in the community is indeed not affecting individuals, but also affecting the health, affecting our health issues and the social aspect.
Thank you. So he's just talking to us about the public health implication of having these gadgets and all not functioning. But you're also here. What's your name, sir?
Yes, my name is Abuaji Edmond.
Abuaji Edmond, you've also been going through the same situation. How has it been affecting you?
Yes, it's very terrible. I live just around the Mount Mary Training College, and the lights off is not just affecting us individually, but then the public institutions as well. If you see the number of students who have to trek from the school, go out, even the security, their safety, it's serious. What we are going through is not a child's play. Whoever is in charge must make sure that power is restored to the good people of this place, so that whatever the issues are, we don't care about whether people say they will pay light bill or not. Some of us are ready to pay. We are paying. Some of us have even accepted or embraced the prepaid meters. So whatever the issues are, we are not concerned. We are focused on how we can build our businesses and how we can be free from this darkness. If I tell you the impact on businesses, my brother, you will marvel. You will marvel. It is not good. Some of the ECG cables are even being stolen because of because the people know that the lights are off now.
And we can just see right here,
Yes.
some of the cables hanging
Yes.
right beside the pole, giving you an indication of what, exemplifying what he's been telling us. But as we talk, we've seen a store here which seems to have electricity connection. But just as I get closer, I'm hearing the sound of a generator just blaring right here on the street. And so, in fact, we've been driving for close to 20 minutes on this particular avenue here in Somanya, and we're told that nobody, or if you like, no household actually has connection to electricity. So just across this part, we're seeing the stores. Just one store out of so many that are lined up on this particular stretch of the road has electricity tonight. And we're seeing that people are just, coming around and attempting to access the electricity. Well, they're standing there and watching us even as we do this. And as we're getting closer, Ernest, it is becoming more and more clear that they are indeed using a standby generator. My boss, good evening. I'm sorry to be intruding on you like this. My name is Manuel Cranton with Joy News. You're live on the Joy News channel. That's a standby generator, confirm?
Yeah, it's true. We have to use generator to charge our phones.
So this is a place you charge mobile phones?
Normally, it's not a place that we charge mobile phone, but then we are taking advantage of the light out over here to do business for ourselves.
I see. So almost everybody in the town comes here to charge their phone?
Not everybody. Those in this vicinity actually visit here. Other places too, there are generators who are charging phones for other people.
Okay, so you take a token?
Yeah, we take 5 cities for Android phone, and then for YAM we take 3 cities.
I see. But how long has this been going on?
Let me say, since Wednesday. Yeah, it started last Wednesday, and then up to now we haven't seen any sign of lights being operated as usual.
We're seeing a lot of the residents who are speaking to us and say the lights must be restored, the electricity must be restored to the community.
Yeah, definitely it has to, because the approaching or the imminent BECE, it's going to affect a lot of students over here. Considering the fact that we have a lot of schools in this town, the light must be in so that they can also have the advantage to at least learn for their...
And he's just been talking to us. Then finally, before we hand over back to you, we're seeing, older people, you're seeing grandmothers and so on, you're sitting around here, indeed, just whiling away the time. Madam, good evening. What's your name saying? What's your name saying?
Pearl.
Pearl, how are you, Juma?
Pachani.
What's your light? What light on your feet?
Any light to a generator?
A generator, no. But a hand on a fee. It's what you are.
Diane.
Omuji Sikan, some of light.
Omuji Miska.
What you are saying now, Mama, like
50 cities.
50 cities. 5 days, no.
Ane.
I then I'm light in a call.
Minimo. Almost Omudi prepaid no baba hanum. And I see there be yempe. And I'm more doom lights no.
I didn't say I'm prepaid.
Prepaid in Yentimentria. Yentimentria.
Anything I'm moon to Mintia. I see. So she's been telling me that, well, even though we're seeing something a semblance of electricity connection right here in her shop, she's just tapping from that other shop, which we just showed you as a spot where people here in the community now come to charge their mobile phones. She says that they are kicking against this prepaid, prepaid meters because they cannot pay. And so that's really the situation here in Somanya as they call on authorities to now restore their electricity for them. Ernest, from here in Somanya, we're handing over back to you in the studio.